Hello, welcome. So this is Lotus with Art of Sacred Embodiment, and I am super excited to begin our Embodied Moments activations with light language. So we're going to start off this weekly series with working with the frequency of joy. So before we go into joy, I just want to talk a little bit more about the difference between frequencies of states of being and emotions. So emotions, they rise and fall, they come and go. We are affected emotionally by the world around us and even the world within us. States of being are actually a part of the soul essence that we all are. They are unchanging. They are always present within us. As we go through our healing process, as we unwind the density of emotional patterns, thought patterns, pain and physical patterns, we start to sense and access more easily the more subtle energies and frequencies of the states of being that we are. So when we're talking about states of being are things like our frequencies, consciousness, like joy, peace, bliss, wisdom is a state of being. Love in the higher expression is a state of being. Power is a state of being. Divine power. So these are, in essence, our divinity codes that are already within us. And so what we're going to work with the light language is starting to introduce us to these parts of ourselves and give us more access to turning them on, right? And to being able to return to them and cultivate their presence in our day-to-day awareness. So joy is sort of that uptick from happiness. Happiness, however, will come and go. Happiness has a polar opposite. So that's the other thing about emotions and states of being. Emotions have polar opposites because they exist within the realm of polarity. States of being are a unified presence. They don't have ups and downs. They don't have, they don't have fluctuations. They are whole and holy. They are a unified expression. So when we're looking at happiness, we have the opposite, that is sadness. So we feel happy one minute, and then something happens in our world, in our life, and it brings about that human experience of sadness or grief. So happiness has a higher frequency, and then sadness or grief comes, and we're sort of pulled back down into this 3D density more fully. So we use happiness as a jumping off point. All of our emotional states have corresponding vibrations within our cells, our muscles, our tissues, how our brain functions, and are patterned in our body, right? So most of us carry, this is what we're working with, the healing process, or the remembering ourselves back to who we are, is to break up these old patterns. And so happiness may not be something that you are deeply acclimated to. I know for me, I was much more content in sort of, um, I was much more content in a melancholia for most of my life. And I would have spurts of happiness, but I also tend to be a very serious person. So I tend to have a lot of, you know, my blueprint tends to carry a lot of intensity and seriousness in it in general. But as I started working with joy, I started accessing more real, true upliftment and happiness in my emotional landscape. So depending on where you're at, depending on where your cells are at this time, where they're vibrating, what they have become accustomed to, we're going to use the light language to up-level that so that we can awaken the state of being of joy in our self, in our awareness. So we begin to recognize, oh, this not only comes and goes, rises and falls, but this is who I am. And I've talked about this briefly before, but what I'll share here is that joy was one of the first activations that I began getting when light language started coming through. And very quickly what I realized was that, I would say within probably 6 months or so, I could be sick, like having a cold or a flu and feeling not that great and be laying in bed. And what I started recognizing was that even though I might have felt tired and, cranky and just not feeling well, I started recognizing that sharing the same space, I could feel joy rising up into my heart. So this was really interesting because what I recognized, that was like my first real experience of, wow, it doesn't matter what I'm feeling here on the surface, my deeper level is literally holding and emanating joy now, simultaneously, side by side. My true essence was revealing itself even within my personhood or my egoic construct. So that was really cool, and it's just been this continuation. So what we're going to work with is a little bit of just, a little practice that I like to use to sort of open the doorway to happiness and then begin to open up the doorway to joy. So I'm going to start off with just a tiny little glimpse of that very simple practice that you can practice all the time, okay? And then if you want to go further, if you really feel like you'd like to access more joy in your life, in your being, that's where our life really starts, right? This intimate relationship with me in here is what is going to reflect out as my perception and perspective of my relationship in the world. So the more of this that I carry inside, the more I see that which matches joy on the outside. And then that becomes the life that I'm living. So if you feel a resonance with this, as we're going to go forward and doing these weekly, I'm going to put a link down below of both my Linktree and Send Owl, and you can access that and then purchase the meditation and activation and the light language activation. This is going to be for you, those of you who, want to incorporate more light language in your life and take that journey of how it supports you in many ways. So you'll be able to access that in the link below. Okay? And then you'll get the full meditation and activation there. All right, lovely. So let's just go ahead and just take a deep breath in for a moment. Exhale with a big sigh. And I want you just to relax down into your base, down into your sacred center, sacred grounding. And as you drop down, with your eyes closed if that's comfortable, if not, just look at the ground, just to keep more of an internal focus. And then I'm going to invite you to bring in a memory or an image of something that makes you smile so much. And when you smile, you can feel that in your heart. Something that you know of that makes you so happy. So, for me, that has tended to be my dog, Moki, who is no longer with me. But when I just think about him, I can't help but smile and my heart opens. So I'm going to invite you to take a minute and bring something into your awareness. And if it's hard to find something, that's okay. Okay? We're going to smile anyway. And studies have shown us that just smiling and laughing, even if it's contrived, right? Even if we're not connecting to it completely, starts to change our endorphins and our chemistry. So I'm going to just ask you just to bring that and just put your hands on your heart. And just think of that event, that person, that situation, that memory that just makes your heart smile and brings a smile across your face. So I'm thinking of Moki. And then I'm just going to keep thinking about these little memories of him and just some of the funny things that he used to do. And I'm going to invite you, smile. You're going to want to smile. And just feel that smile light up your entire face. And just keep smiling. Keep holding that smile. Keep breathing into it. And then just recognize and receive an inkling of happiness. Doesn't have to be overflowing. But if it is overflowing, that's fabulous. So just connect to that inside your own being. Take a breath in, breathe it in. Drop down into your belly. Breathing, feeling, sensing, keep smiling. And let the smile get as big as it wants or as big as your face can handle. And just allow that sensation. It might be very subtle at first, but just allow that sensation to be received by your awareness. And see if you can feel that when you smile, the vibration shifts and you can just keep choosing to smile. You can keep choosing moment to moment to receive happiness. Take another deep breath in, exhale. All right, beautiful. So you can do this anytime you think about it. I do this every night, literally, before I go to bed. I go to bed practicing this smiling and thinking of things that make me happy. And I wake up every morning, and that's the first thing that I do, is I go into the practice of retrieving what makes me really happy, effortlessly, what just makes me smile. When I'm having harder times, I do the same, and it may not be as easy, but that's why it's part of a practice. And I think of Moki most often in that situation, because that just lights me up from inside automatically. So this is a beautiful practice. See how it feels for you. Okay? And then if you want to go deeper, if you want to expand more with the activation, then click the link below and I will meet you there. All right. Lovely.